Well, hello, you fabulous interior design professional. Welcome to Business of Design. I'm Kimberley Seldon. And like so many of you, I have been living in the hustle for as long as I can remember. I started working for myself at 15. I had to get a ride to work before I had a license. And honestly, I don't even know who I'd be without that aspect of my personality. But here's the truth. How hard you hustle doesn't always equal happiness or results. Have you ever felt, and I certainly have, and our guest today certainly has, just kind of trapped in the hustle? You're sitting at your desk long after the work is done, taking on massive projects that just suck your energy because you think that's what being successful looks like. Oh, I definitely have been there. And so, as our guest, you're going to meet Lori Steeves, whom I adore. She's from Vancouver. Her company is called Simply Decorating. You definitely all want to follow her on Instagram. And she's going to talk about how just years of endless hustle were finally just too much for her. And she did a pivot. She moved from thinking all the time about revenue to thinking about profit. She left behind exhaustion, stress, and what sounds like maybe a creative block, maybe a serious one. It doesn't have to be that way if that sounds like you today. You can build a profitable, sustainable business doing what truly excites you. And that's what we're going to talk about. After decades of running big, huge renovations and being a bottleneck in her own business, Lori made a bold choice and she started to say no to big renovation jobs. What? That's crazy, right? Not for her. What really lights her up is decorating. She loves the furniture, the wallpaper, the window coverings, and all of that. By giving up the renovating, she was able to lean into her passion, simplify her workflow, trust in the systems that she's got, and now she works less, but she earns more money. I mean, that's pretty good, right? Plus, she has more space for creativity, fresh ideas, and even playtime. She describes a midweek skating session, which I think sounds lovely, and 2 trips to Europe this summer. Okay. So absolutely, we want all that. And we still want to deliver exceptional results for our clients. So I've felt the same way she did. She described a moment where she was sitting at her desk until 5 o'clock, even though really she didn't have that much to do, but it was just a habit or guilt or something. And now she realizes she can be free of all that. And she'll have more energy to do the creative things she loves. Her projects got better. Her projects got bolder. She felt more joyful. And listen, your business should support your life, not the other way around. So stay tuned. This episode just might change how you think about the hustle. And spoiler alert, Lori's going to talk about systems. None of it's possible without that. So hopefully you'll do what Lori did so many years ago and you'll join Business of Design, because we can teach you how to get out of the hustle trap and into a more profitable, streamlined business quickly. I promise you. Again, follow Lori at Simply Home Decorating on Instagram. Stick around for the show. Cheryl Horn's got some quick announcements, and I'm so glad you're here.
Thanks, Kimberly. Well, the wait is over. Our first ever Black Friday sale is starting this week, and we're going big. Starting Friday, November 28th, you'll save 25% off all digital products in the BOD shop. That means all 4 of our contracts: hourly, flat fee, hybrid, and commercial. It also includes the BOD operations manual and every one of our standalone courses, like the recent seminar, Project Management, A Legal Path to Compliance with Wendy Estella. If you've been using our flat fee contract but you're moving into commercial work, this is your chance to grab the contract you need. If you've streamlined your design development phase using the BOD systems and you're ready to switch to a hybrid model, charging a value-based fee for all the heavy lifting you do up front, this sale makes it easy to get the right tools in place. The sale runs Friday, November 28th through Monday, December 1st. at midnight EST. Don't forget, BOD members already get preferred pricing, so your savings stack even higher. Not familiar with member preferred pricing? You should be. Members already save $200 to $300 on contracts, the operations manual, and standalone courses. Why? Because these resources support the systems and procedures we teach within Business of Design membership. And when you become a member, we are here to support you. If you've ever thought about signing up for BOD membership or returning to membership if you're a past member, now is the time. Watch your inbox, follow us on social, or head to the website and click on the BOD shop and take advantage of this first ever Black Friday sale event before it's gone. Thanks so much.
Welcome to Business of Design. Business of Design is the world's best business training for interior design professionals like you. If you're ready to implement an exact business model for running a streamlined, profitable business, field tested by thousands of design professionals around the world, head to businessofdesign.com and get started today. It's time to dramatically improve your business and transform your life. Business of Design. There's only one.
It's always a good day when you have one of your favorite people on the podcast, Lori Steeves. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Thanks, Kimberly. How are you?
I'm really good. Lori and I had a chance to hang out together in Vancouver. That was hilarious. We're exchanging emails, and you're like, well, if you're ever in Vancouver, and I'm like, I'm getting on a plane tomorrow. As a matter of fact, want to meet up?
I love that. That's so great.
It was great. Where did we go? Where were we? Where did we go for coffee in Vancouver?
We went to Prado, which is in the Armory District, kind of where a lot of the design shops are concentrated.
Oh my gosh. And the beautiful clothing and I love just BC is so beautiful. If you've never been, you must go see the oceans and the mountains and the cool people like Lori Steeves. But we're not going to talk about our reunion. We're going to talk about you sent a note because you were listening to the podcast, and I thought, man, oh man, Lori and I seem to be on the same parallel track in the universe. So I'm just going to read the note you sent because I think that'll launch us into the show, and then I'm going to stop talking and we're going to listen to Lori. So what Lori wrote was, when I listened to podcast 442, From Hustle to Sustainability, I felt like Kimberly was speaking directly to me. For well over 20 years, I have been all about the hustle. But for the last 2 years, I found myself struggling with a lack of inspiration and excitement for what I'm doing. Being less busy this year has led to a revelation. We love revelations. With the systems that I have in place, I do not have to work as hard as I used to in order to achieve the same results. And that's okay. That's way better than okay, right?
I'm saying that to convince myself, Kimberly, because sometimes I still really struggle with, not hustling as hard. It's just
Yeah.
inbred, I guess, in my upbringing, in my DNA. So
Well, did you hustle from a young age? Because I mean, by the time I was 15, I was working, and it was, had to have my own money. And
definitely. Yeah. I think I got my first job. Well, I used to work in my dad's store. He would let me come and clean shelves and do things, little basic things that a 6-year-old can do, so I could save up money to buy whatever thing. The first thing was a pet. I wanted to buy a budgie, and I had to pay for the cage and the bird and the food. And I think it probably took me 6 months of cleaning shelves to save up enough for that. So that's when hustle started, age like 6.
yeah.
To break free from that when you've been doing it all these years.
Well, and it has, to be fair, it's served you really well. You've had this really amazing, robust career, not just somebody who's been acclaimed for doing beautiful work, but you've actually made money, which is, in our industry, that's something. Like, let's shout out for that, because a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
So it served you well, but what do you think changed? What made you think, I'm going to slow my roll here? What happened?
You know what can really make or break a home renovation? Windows and doors. If you're an interior designer, you know how stressful it can be managing contractors, chasing timelines, and hoping it all comes together. Well, that's where Renewal by Anderson's interior designer loyalty program comes in. It's built to take the headache out of window and door replacement so you can focus on what you do best, creating stunning spaces your clients will love. But here's what really makes the difference. You'll have your very own dedicated Renewal by Anderson contact. Think of them as your window and door expert. They'll keep your project moving and make sure it's completed on time. Even better, you will be rewarded for your loyalty and get exclusive discounts on each project. Want to make your next project easier? Of course you do. Apply today at renewalbyandersondesigners.com. Subject to program terms and conditions.
Well, I have to credit middle age. I think that really changed things for me. I just simply didn't have the energy that I once had and the drive, I guess. And so as I struggled to work I don't know, 80 hours a week or whatever craziness I would do, I guess I just, I realized as I started to slow down a little bit that the work was still getting done and things were moving along. And I thought, wow, maybe I actually don't have to spend 10 hours a day sitting at my desk or, worrying about things or working in the background off hours. So it was really, as I mentioned in my letter, like this past couple years, it's been a bit less busy, just in terms of the economy and that sort of thing. A few less inquiries coming in. I made a huge decision about a year ago to stop seeking out large renovation projects.
Mm-hmm.
I still get them just by default, but I'm not marketing to that anymore because decorating is my real passion. Furniture, wallpaper, window coverings. I just can't get enough. As you can see behind me here, it's what I really love. And so I thought, could I have a sustainable business just doing the type of jobs that I really love? It was a big question mark. And I decided this year to say no to anything that wasn't in that category of
Mm.
something I really wanted to do. It was so scary. I'm a yes person, so saying no to things such an important thing to learn, but had to learn it all over again to say no to some things that came through the door. And it's been amazing. I just can't believe how yes, it is possible to have a sustainable business just doing decorating projects. Who knew? And I'm thrilled to know that. So that meant that I wasn't as busy on job sites, project managing, all of the tireless hours spent, reviewing detailed drawings. And I was just so much happier and felt more free. And then came the struggle of like, maybe I'm not working hard enough. I feel like I'm not filling the hours and it would
Yep.
be too,
Worth kind of gets tied up in being busy
yes,
instead of being
100%.
effective and
Yes.
impactful in I get that.
Like I
That's
have such an
why we tell ourselves.
I have such an embarrassing confession to make. There were many, many days when at 2 o'clock I would be finished everything that I needed to do. And I remained at my desk until 5 because some weird thing inside my head told me that I needed to be here to put in a full work day. How crazy is that?
It's, you know what? It's a sign of being brought up and trained to do a job versus build a business and have a career. Like, I'll never forget my dad being able to go out and play golf every Wednesday. And once I started working, I thought, how does he do that? How's, how I couldn't do that. I really, for the first, 10, 15 years, there's no way I could have done that. Now I could 100% I could do that. The difference is his work had systems and procedures and not every job was his job and he wasn't the bottleneck. I was such a bottleneck in my
Mm.
every single thing had to go through me. And it just slowed everything to a grinding halt. And when you finally have decent systems and people are trained in those systems, I mean, I work less than anybody in my office. That is, everybody knows that. And when I was young, that would have made me feel ashamed. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm the boss. I get to do that. I put in my time, you
Well,
know, and
yeah.
now I get to do how and tell me more about the renovation versus decorating. With the renovating, was it about the project management side? You didn't like being on the job site?
I mean, I can't even say it's not that I didn't like it because I do love seeing my trades at work and interacting with our suppliers, and that's a big benefit to this job is how social you can be, and all the people you get to interact with. But I think, I mean, I just have to say I am not a good project manager. Like, I see the big picture. I'm excited. This is what I want. Now somebody else please make it happen.
Yeah.
And when it gets down grinding into the details of like, what handle are we going to replace this, the toilet lever or whatever? Like, please somebody else choose that. Like, this is the direction I want. This is the metal finish. Just somebody else make it happen. So I think you can relate, and I'm sure there are lots of others who are not the detail people who want to be in the weeds every day. And so I had a staff project manager. I've had two of them over the years. And when my last project manager told me that, she was moving to Europe and taking a remote job, I was very excited for her, but also very traumatized because I thought, oh no, this is all going to fall to me again.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. And but that was the push that I needed because there
Yeah.
were other times in my career when I thought, I just wish I could just focus on the decorating projects. And I was always too afraid. And I guess for me this time, the pain of training in a new project manager was enough to push me over the edge and really make me decide that no, this is something I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on this because I guess I never really realized that I had the power to create this business the way that I wanted it. I thought I had to take the business as it came.
Yeah.
And it's only been recently, sadly, for me, that I realized that I get to choose and I can design this business that allows me to live the daily life that I want. Like, for instance, yesterday after our Monday morning meeting, I went skating on a Monday at 11 because I love to skate. There are only so many 19 plus skate slots available, and I don't want to get tripped up by little kids. So I just said, you know what, we're done our meeting. I'm going skating. And my assistant was like, yeah, you go. Like, it's great. So
Well, the thing is, you're a model for what she wants in her life, right? Like nobody wants to die at their desk. Most people don't want to die at their desk, right? And that's kind of where I was headed. I really appreciate what you said about like I stay there till 5. I think part of that is being young. When I was young, and I would feel really guilty leaving the office if everybody else was working, and I didn't.
I wasn't even young and I was still, this was like, 2 years ago. So I can't say, oh, I was so young and foolish. Look what I did. No, no, this was recently. And I still struggle with it every day, honestly. Like I see myself sitting here and then when I have that realization of, what am I doing? I'm done. Like I just jump up and grab my dogs and go out the door because I can, but I need to push myself to that because it is not intuitive. My hustle, the hustle is in, like, built in me, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But you can kind of channel that hustle towards something else. Like I've taken up tennis, I take tap dancing. I'm
yeah,
hustling, but just not at work the way I was. Now, I will say depending on where you're at, if you need jobs to pay the bills, you're going to be hustling to fill your client pipeline. That's kind of different.
Of course.
You're talking about that day to day running the business. It's really interesting to me the stories that we make up and the stories that we tell ourselves. And how long did I believe things to be true that had no basis in fact or reality? Like, how long? And one of the big aha moments for me was we decided to sell my office. It was 2008 was that crazy housing crisis.
Yeah.
I had to let go a lot of staff. And after that, I had this big office and we were just rolling around in it. And half the time nobody was there because we were on job sites. And I thought, I'm going to sell the office, which seemed you can't do that. It's
Mhm.
got your name on a big street. You get business from the office. I made so much money once I cut that source off, right? It was crazy. Like, oh my gosh, I should have done this ages ago. But
Yeah, there's a bit of a vanity,
yeah,
thing to that. Like, also had an office. Now it was diagonally across the street, from my house, but it was in a commercial building. It was on a busy corner, and there was something about it just felt legitimizing. It felt like, here I am. I'm present in the community. But there was some, issues with the building, and I thought, it's too much uncertainty. So we actually did a fairly massive renovation to our house and added my office onto the side as an independent suite. And it was the best thing, like the greatest thing. I mean, I can walk out of my front door in my bare feet and come over to the office, but there is that separation. And when clients come for their presentations, they
mm,
get to see the transformation that I've made to my own home, which is often similar to what they may want to do with their home. So it's like an example of my work in front of their eyes, and they get to really experience it, and then they come into the office, and I mean, I really went all out in my office more than even maybe in my house. And it's just such a great thing to not worry. I mean, I've added value to you know, my own home, as opposed to putting a bunch of leasehold improvements into the place across the street that'll be torn down one day. Um,
right.
so it made a lot of sense, but it was hard to let go of that because there's a certain amount of it legitimizes you. It's an ego thing. I don't know. It's all of that.
No, it is. You're at a party. You're like, no, we have an office at, Mount Pleasant in Davisville. And, yeah. And then suddenly, like, I don't have that anymore. I have like a little office that I don't really want you to come to anymore. I can give you a little glimpse into the future, which is where I'm at now, which is I've been doing that for a while, working less but making more money, because that's part of it too. I want to work less, but I don't want to make less money, and
Mm.
that has been my experience as well. That's possible by just getting smarter about what you're doing. But my challenge now is I find it hard to work sometimes because I'm
Oh,
having fun. And I'm like, I want to, you want to play tennis? When you play Maj, you want to come and play All the girls are playing Maj. I'm like, I really need to do this job. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. So I found myself having these like really tight crunch deadlines. I'm like, okay, you got to get it together, girl. You can't
I
do nothing.
I've already been there a couple times. I was so fortunate this summer to have 2 trips to Europe, one at the beginning of the summer and one at the end, and I didn't wanna come back. I was like, "What if I just didn't come back in between? What would happen?" Well, things might fall apart a little bit, so, I did have to come back, but I can see how that happens. You get used
And
to.
it's shocking how much you can get done on your phone or your iPad or, just a tremendous amount of work that would have taken me 3 hours, I can do in, 45 minutes now.
Yes. Yeah.
Partly because tools have gotten better and I'm so used to the systems, I don't have to look things up. How do we do that? I forget how we do that, blah, blah, blah. And I have people I can rely on, which makes a
That's
huge difference.
critical. So
Mhm.
critical. I mean, I am so lucky to have the same assistant for almost 10 years now, and I feel like she can read my mind. We have built all of the systems together, so she knows them sometimes better than I do.
Hmm.
And because she's in it every day, working those systems. And I think that's really such a critical point, is that in order to get to this place, you definitely have to have things running in a way like, okay, this happened. There's a whole chain of events that is, sequenced in some kind of software where you know that this is the next step. And if you're not there, somebody else can just pick up the ball and run with it. That is just of the utmost importance. It's the only way that you
Yeah.
can ever imagine being away for a period of time and things still moving forward.
Yeah, there's not really a shortcut to having all of your back end stuff buttoned down. There's really not. And reliable trades that you can trust, and you can send them to a client's house and think, I know they're 100% going to do a great job and I don't have to worry. Like, I remember
Yes.
the stress of trying out new contractors or, new painters, and just like, oh, I don't know. Right? It's like, I don't wanna go back to that, but I also wanna appreciate the sweet spot that I'm in, and I do wanna feel passionate about my work, and so I wonder if pivoting for you reignited that passion. Did you think, "Oh, wow, now I really just get to do what I love?"
Yes. Yeah, 100%. That realizing that I could design a business that was more of what I love and less of what I don't like, or that I'm not as good at and that I struggle with, that really was a big turning point for me. And I've been so much more excited about my projects. And I mean, I can't say that I didn't love all my past projects. I put 110% into everything that I do, but sometimes that spark is missing, and I found that I've really been able to get that back. And I also think that not being as chained to my desk and busy, I guess, has let me. I don't know, like, it's amazing how little time it takes for my brain to be empty for new exciting things to flood in. Um, I'm always shocked at how just a little bit, one day of, hiking in the woods or skiing or doing something else, all of a sudden I start having all these ideas. And um, I need more of that in my life. I mean, obviously, I'm going to do my job better if I have room for the creativity to flourish and the ideas to come. So I realize that I'm actually doing my clients a disservice sitting at my desk staring at a screen needlessly when I could be out coming up with the next great idea and, really being able to provide them with way more value by taking the time.
Yeah, there's no value
Well,
being busy. There's only value to coming up with a great idea or being able to execute it. And in order to do that, I have to be fresh. I have to feel fresh and excited and ready to roll.
yeah.
And can't do that if you're grinding it all the time.
But,
Um,
there was something that came with this change that I made, that every time that I do anything, there's always like that resistance that comes up. And one of the things that, again, I think I'm just in the middle of this right now. So I'm still admittedly struggling to get used to it. And the one of the big things was that I was so used to these big top line numbers. I was doing the big renovation job, and I'd look at my sales and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, look at me go! I'm just one person and an
well, you
assistant."
mean revenue. You were
Top line
fixated
revenue
on your
numbers.
revenue.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like, "Yeah,
That's a big problem.
can I hit this mark? Can I hit that mark?" But you know, I'm just as profitable. Well, I'm more profitable doing the type of work that I'm doing now than I was doing the big jobs that had the big top line numbers. And even still, sometimes I look at my sales and I feel like a little bit disappointed, especially when you do the year-over-year comparison and you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
am I failing?" But then I look at the bottom line numbers and I'm like, "No, this is great. This is how
Yeah.
much, fewer hours I had to spend to arrive here." And that's just one of those things that's so counterintuitive, but so
Mhm.
true at the same time.
We're so wired for revenue. It never fails when I'm working with a new designer through coaching, and I'll say, So what are you making?" And they'll say, "Oh, we made 2 million this year." And I said, "Great, you took home $2 million." "Oh no." I'm like, "Hmm. What do you, why are you giving me that number?" "Oh, that was, how much money we made." "No, you didn't make that. You didn't. You held on to it for a minute, maybe, but you didn't make it." It is all about the profit margin. And
Yeah.
I wish the business courses for interior designers would give us the tools we need. It hasn't changed significantly enough. And yet, when I'm talking to builders, when I'm working with builders, they completely understand the difference between profit and revenue, and they talk profit. S-
Yes.
I don't know if it's something, just the stories we told ourselves growing up, or the stories that the teachers told themselves, and so it doesn't teach it. I don't know. But I'm happy that for you that you found this new, well, it's not a new lease on life, but it's kind of a new path that's giving you more joy than the path you were on. Like, you could have stayed there and ground it out for however many more years, but thank goodness you didn't.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing is it's really just a tweak. It's not, my systems didn't have to change
Mm.
because we use the same system, whether we did a one bedroom decorating project or a full house redesign. So really it's just, and because the systems are so robust, it I can design the heck out of that decorating project because I have every step nailed down, and sometimes maybe it might seem a bit like overkill, but as soon as I try to like skip the smallest step, I'm like, "Oh no." Everything just kind of um gets all messed up, and my assistant's always like, "Are you sure you want to do it like that? Because you know what happened." And I'm so lucky to have somebody to remind me repeatedly, and save myself from myself, because I definitely am inclined, just when it comes to systems and processes, to cut corners. No other area, but for
No.
some reason, that's where I'll do it. I'll try to do it every time, and I
It's so
always forget
funny.
it.
Kathy and I were at a consultation for a huge project, a big farm project, and I don't even remember the thing that I said, but I was cutting a corner a little on something, and Kathy goes, "She hasn't had her coffee. That isn't right. That's not how we do it." And I was like, "Oh," and she's like, "I just have to save you from yourself sometimes," and I'm like, "Yes, you do." I always joke that she's gonna fire me one day. What are you? You're gonna
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the weakest link. I'm the weakest link. So good to see your face. So good to know that you're doing so well. We love to end every episode with design intervention. You probably remember from the
Yes.
first time you were on the show, or the second, I don't know. Just a great piece of advice you want to leave everybody with.
So, I mean, I've talked about systems a lot, and so I think, I have to reiterate that one of my biggest learnings from the business of design is that systems will set you free.
Mhm.
And I remember the first time I heard you say that, and I thought, "That's crazy. Like, systems pen you in. Systems are like a fence around you. That can't be right." And it really feels so counterintuitive. And I actually had to, like, as a creative person, I don't want to be hemmed in, right? I want to be free to do whatever I want. And um you really have to experience it to believe it and to understand it. It in developing something that's repeatable, that other people can step in and take over. It's so instrumental to you being able to take a step back.
Mhm.
And so if there was something I could really tell my younger self, it would be that the systems are going to be the thing that set you free.
Yeah.
And it's, here I am 25 years in and I've got it now, but it took some time.
It takes a minute. Yeah. It's shocking to me that I would felt the same way. I didn't want systems. That's crazy. I want every project to be creative and different and blah, blah, blah. But I found myself cutting corners with creativity. I didn't have time to go find the most amazing wallpaper, so that one would do. And that, but I don't have time just to use the same paint color we used at Mrs. Blah blah blah's house. Once I had systems, I had loads of time to be creative. All my projects got better, strong
Yes.
creatively, all of them. The systems make space to
Yes.
be creative. That's not chaotic, you know? Thank you for that reminder. It's so true. It's amazing how all these years later, 30 years plus, I've been doing it now, and I'm still wired to skip a system if I can. If I think I can do it, boy, it's just don't do it. Not ever, not once.
Don't
Oh,
do it. Don't
you
skip
look
a system.
great. Continued success. I hope you'll find yourself having 2 trips to Europe this summer too and lots of work.
Thank you so much, Kimberly.
Good to see
Always a
you.
pleasure.